Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Skyblock News. I'm your host, Derailious, and today we're going to be going over the Hypixel Q&A event that is upcoming, focusing on Skyblock and featuring members of the game design team. Before we begin, though, make sure to like and subscribe. Use code RAIL on the Hypixel store for 5% off your order, and without any further ado, let's get started. So to begin here, we have an announcement on the Hypixel forum stating, "Hello, we would like to invite the community to join us for the upcoming Q&A event. This event will focus on Skyblock and feature members of the game design team. The session will be held on Monday, June 8th at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and will be a text-based session, and will be held on the official Hypixel Discord. To participate in the Q&A, you have to link your account to the official Discord, and they have instructions here for you to do so. You just need to join clicking this link, log into your Discord account, then you'll have to have Hypixel know your Discord ID, and once you do that, you should be good to go." So heading over to the Hypixel Discord and the Skyblock Q&A channel, we can see some more details about how this is going to work. To begin, it's going to once again be a text-based Q&A. You're not going to be joining call, you're not going to be talking vocally to the developers here, it's all going to be in text. The team is going to review questions as they come in and answer a selection of them throughout the session. Sometimes we've seen Q&As in the past, not by Hypixel, but by other dev teams, where they'll basically get all the questions for the first 45 minutes, and then they'll answer them in the last 15. It's not going to work like that. It's going to be much more of a back and forth, which I think is a lot better. It's going to mean that when you ask a question, there's a chance that a team member will reply in just a couple minutes. Not every question is going to be answered, though. The team is going to be reading all of them, so don't be discouraged if yours isn't picked. And if your question gets answered, feel free to ask another one, as long as it stays within the session's topic. Speaking of which, we move on to Q&A guidelines. Keep your questions relevant to the Q&A topic so they can stay focused on the theme of the event. It's going to be Skyblock related. If you have questions related to other game modes on the network, this is not really the place to ask those questions. I imagine in the future, they may do other Q&As for other game modes on Hypixel. They want people to keep their questions clear and concise. It helps the team answer more of them. You have to be patient, of course. Sometimes it may take a minute or two for a team member to formulate a response and then eventually type it out. And you also have to follow the server rules and code of conduct. If you spam stuff, if you're repeating questions, if you're flooding the channel, if you're trolling, stuff like that, they'll probably just remove you from the ability to see the channel, and they might apparently apply a punishment to your account. I imagine it means in-game, so if you're doing that, don't be that shocked if you get a mute in-game, which kind of makes sense. But they're looking forward to seeing all the questions from people and seeing everybody in the session. I've got to say, it is really good to see the Hypixel network actually going through with a Q&A session. I think it's going to do a lot of good for community sentiment going into the rest of 2026. In terms of the questions that I would love to see as part of the Q&A session, especially considering that there's going to be game designers there, I think there's a lot of stuff that could be asked about, for example, balancing, how certain items are going to be balanced in the future. Is the team planning any sort of major combat rebalances? In terms of updates, how future combat updates are planning on being designed, which design ideas are they looking for in terms of maybe making roguelike content? Are bosses going to be faster or slower? What's the overall theme going into the rest of the year in terms of their new releases? In terms of stuff that's already out, there could be a lot of stuff asked about, for example, item design, how certain things get created, how do things get chosen to be buffed or nerfed? Is it just based off of usage, or is it based off of something else entirely? And how is community feedback feed into all of this as well? How much feedback has gone into the Hypixel network over the years, and how much of that has actually been used by the dev team? There's a bunch of other questions that could be talked about here. For example, Skyblock XP has been a big discussion point recently. What is its place in the game? For example, bestiaries have been a big problem among the endgame community. A lot of players don't like the fact that they have to go back and redo certain pieces of content when an update drops because they added a new bestiary in that location. What is going to be done in the future for that problem? How are other problems for the early and mid-game communities going to be resolved in the future? I think it's going to be a great place to leave your questions and get some amazing feedback by the team. Wrapping up here, once the Q&A actually happens, I'll likely make a video covering all of the details and any new information that was released about the game, and even information related to combat balancing or any sort of balancing will be discussed. Feel free to use the comments section of this video as a place to formulate questions with each other, if we go in there with really good questions, it means we'll get some great responses. Would love to hear what you think about all this down below. Leave all of your thoughts there, and look to the future, fellas. I'll see you then.